All right. I think we're all set. Hello again, everybody in the Zoom room, Growth Collective community, and hello to everybody in the Real Estate Investing Mastermind Facebook group. Douglas J. Beck here, looking forward to having a conversation with you today about joint ventures and the power of collaboration. We've had some really good questions and conversations in our hot seat and Q&A discussion. Thank you again to Rich, Coach Rich, for being there as well to help answer and address some of the questions in the group. The Growth Collective, if you don't know, is our private coaching and mastermind group. We also have a community, which has 1 to 2 meetings a week as well, where you can bring your questions, bring your deals, have them analyzed, have a private Slack channel, have a conversation about what you're working on and see how we can help make it, happen and grow. But ultimately, we're here now in the Real Estate Investing Mastermind group to talk about joint venturing. And just want to first off ask those of you on Facebook, if you hear me live right now, do me a favor and comment below where you're coming in from, what location, what city and state, and tell us also if you want to share about what your strategy is, what you focus on. Is it fix and flip? Is it buy and hold? Is it wholesale? Is it creative financing? Is it something else? Tell us more about what you're focusing on. And if you feel comfortable to share what you're looking for right now, feel free to share a need that you have. We're going to talk about haves and needs today. We're going to talk about the willingness to be vulnerable today. We're going to talk about the willingness to share today. We're going to talk about the willingness to talk about what you're doing with other people in your network and people you don't know yet, to figure out where there's overlap, where there's opportunity. So all those things are to come in just a couple of minutes here. We're going to ask you guys again, comment below. The Growth Collective, you guys that are listening live, you can do me a favor and actually kick us off by putting some comments into the Facebook or to the Zoom chat. Go ahead and put in, again, some of you don't know each other yet. Tell us where you're from, what you're focusing on. The same thing we'd be doing on Facebook. If you do that inside the Zoom room, I'll kind of read out those answers so that the folks on Facebook can kind of hear about who we have in the Growth Collective as well. And we'll get started in just a couple seconds here. Make sure I got the feed going okay. Let's check it here. We got about 7 or 8 people coming in. I see Seth's there, Alicia as well. Appreciate you guys being here. Alicia's focusing on wholesaling. She's in Oklahoma City. Excellent. Appreciate you being here, Alicia. And yeah, we just put out a message a little bit ago. So hopefully, we might have some folks catching that email a little bit late there, but this will be on replay inside the group. So if you missed this live, feel free to comment below replay to let us know you listened to it on a replay. And this will probably be something that we store in one of the guides at some point, just because the conversation I think is super relevant. I have the honor and privilege to coach real estate investors, but I also happen to coach some people that do real estate investing, but also have businesses besides real estate as well. And I had a conversation with one of my clients this morning, actually, and we had the same kind of conversation around collaboration. And just because I haven't had the conversation with him about sharing the details, I'll keep it kind of generic for today. But this gentleman has a successful business, right, in the real estate related industry. And he's got a lot of good things happening, but he's looking to collaborate more because he's finding that there's the same, lead that are being fought for by 5, 10, 20 different competitors in the same market. And so really what he's realizing is that he's got to borrow some of these same principles of collaboration and joint venturing, potentially grow his non-real estate investment business, right? He's looking at this and saying, how could he find the people that are getting that business and figure out where is their value to add to them and their business? How can he bring value as the same kind of business, which might sound a little weird to everybody listening? How can I help my competitor? Like, how can I literally give them value? We're fighting for the same customer, right? Quote unquote fighting. That's one part of the problem. It's not a fight. This is actually supposed to be something that's unified, right? We're working together. We're moving into collaboration mode versus competition mode. So we have to think like, how do I nurture and embrace that concept of working together versus working against, right? That's the start. You got to get your head straight first. That this is not about just, winning or losing. Yes, it is about competition to some extent to win in life, win in business. But for me, the biggest competitor is actually me, right? I want to be the best version of myself every single day. I want to push myself to grow and do better than I did yesterday, but I want to find others to help do the same with and bring value to so that we can grow together. And that's kind of the purpose and the undertone of what we do inside the Growth Collective. In fact, what we do inside this group here, Real Estate Investing Mastermind, with me here as your host, to help you all learn how to collaborate with each other better. Because literally I can tell you guys that, rewind about a decade ago when I first started as a real estate investor, and I was hitting my head against the wall, like trying to fight for this quote unquote fight again for the same deals that everyone else was going for, and realizing that I wasn't as good as many of these other people. They've been doing business for 5, 10, 20 years. And here I am, the new guy, right? If this resonates with anybody, let me know if you feel like you're the new guy or gal, right? And you're out there trying to get that business directly. Meanwhile, let's be honest, maybe you don't know everything yet that you need to know to be successful at getting that new business. Maybe you don't have all the resources that you know you need to have to be able to get that business, as let's say a person selling a property that's in distress, or let's say you're trying to buy rental property that you want to pick up as a cash flow property for yourself, but you know that there's other landlords that have everything together that have been doing this for decades or years at least, and know everything they need to know to be the best option, if you would, for that particular seller. So how could I possibly expect myself, right, without sacrificing something, without sacrificing maybe paying a premium, how could I compete with my quote unquote competitor who is so much further along in their journey than I am, and think that I can do better than they can? Yeah, it's possible. It's not impossible. I don't want to disempower you guys. It's definitely possible to do better. Yes. But is it probable is the question. And I'll tell you from experience, it's less likely than it is likely for you to do better, working by yourself. And a lot of you are working part-time, 1 to 2 hours a day, maybe if that, on your business, in your business, around your business, thinking about your business. Let's be honest, some of you have this intention to grow a 6-figure, 7-figure business. But if you look yourself in the mirror and say, am I really doing enough? Is my business set up like a business, or is it just like a hobby? Right? Am I committed to my education? Am I committed to my growth? Am I committed to my connections I need to make to be successful? So today we're going to hone into mostly connections and being relationship driven and being collaboration driven. I see Allie's in here from Tampa. I see Sophia. I apologize if I mispronounced that. That's from New Jersey. David over there in Las Vegas. Adriana up in PA. Appreciate you being here, Adriana. Adriana is another one of our Growth Collective clients. Looking forward to seeing you guys here and participating. So, hey, so again, today is about connections. Today is about collaboration. Shout out to my friend David Hughes, right? He told me a little while ago, connect, cultivate, collaborate. David just gave a great presentation yesterday. I wasn't able to join it live. I wasn't feeling too hot yesterday, actually. I was supposed to talk to David in the morning. David, I appreciate you, man. Please see this somewhere. But man, I've been having a stomach bug for the past couple of days, and I'm finally starting to feel a little better. So thank God. But something's going around. But at the end of the day, David was talking to our clients in the Growth Collective about the same exact principle. And I wanted to expand upon that today and give some examples of what I've seen personally, what I'm seeing in the Growth Collective, what I'm seeing in these groups, of how it is that you can make intentional connection to ultimately cultivate, as David says, a relationship with someone, and ultimately from there, find a way to collaborate. Right? Collaboration is the end goal. So how can we collaborate? Well, maybe we can collaborate by, doing deals together. That's one obvious way. Like, hey, I have this deal and you have this other thing I need, whether it's capital or experience or whatever. And I want to find a way to connect. And how can we connect so we can find a relation here that would be mutually beneficial? I'll bring the deal, you bring the capital, we make money together. And at the end, we celebrate. That's an obvious one most people probably have heard about. There's a lot of other less than obvious ways to collaborate that are as good or better potentially in some ways to someone what you're looking for. I bet, because I know there's a large variance of audience here of people that have different goals, different ambitions, different time commitments, different capital constraints, all that kind of stuff. So first thing is, number one, I want you all to take a second to take a pen and paper, right? And take inventory. Inventory, what does that mean? Take inventory means take a mental note and then write it down on a piece of paper. What do you have to offer? What do you have to offer? This is going to lead us into joint venturing, but we first have to take inventory of what do we have to bring to the market? What do we have to bring to others that can get value from what we have? Take inventory of that. So what does that sound like? Well, I have time. I have capital. I have experience. I have deal flow, right? Most simply, if you're in the business as a real estate investor, it's really two buckets. Two main buckets is what I coach my clients in the Growth Collective on, which is deal flow and then capital flow. Deal flow and capital flow. So what is the difference there? Well, deal flow usually means that I have people, whether it's sellers, wholesalers, agents, other investors, sending me stuff, deals, potential leads that turn into maybe some deals that I could acquire. I could go into contract if the numbers make sense. That's deal flow. Do you have deal flow? Maybe take inventory. If you have deal flow, do us the favor and use the opportunity now in front of the entire almost 4,000 people in this group on Facebook. Just put # hashtag deal flow. Hashtag deal flow. Let us know that you have deal flow. You have access to deals. You have access to leads. You have access to opportunities so that someone could say, okay, I see Ron. Ron has deal flow. I know Ron because Ron works for JDL. Ron has deal flow, right? I'm not sure if Alicia has deal flow. I see Shrav is here too. He has some deal flow. He works with us as well. There's some other folks on the Facebook feed. I know I have deal flow. I think David has some deal flow. So you guys could put hashtag deal flow. Now, if you're listening to me talk and you're seeing someone put a comment with hashtag deal flow, maybe if you have capital flow, which we'll talk about in a second, you should contact the person that has deal flow and then match up your capital flow, which we'll talk about in a second. If you know you have it, then you know you have it. If you don't know yet, we'll find out. But capital flow attracts to deal flow. Capital flow attracts to deal flow. So if there's a deal flow scenario, sounds like a rap song or something. Reminds me of the 90s. That song is like, so what's the scenario, right? I was having too much fun today. So deal flow is there. And then capital flow is like, wait a second, I see some deal flow. I'm going to go eat up that deal flow. I'm going to go grab some deal flow from that person or that group that has deal flow. This is why the concept of wholesaling is a business model that people have in real estate, because somebody decided that they'd make a business out of just becoming a deal flow machine. Okay. A deal flow machine and getting constant flow of deals, which is how JDL Ventures got started, right? We are still producing deals. To date, we've got close to 250 closed deals, like in the 230s, I think it is at this point, and lots and lots of real estate and transactions, right? But the fact is that started from one. And ironically, the one that it started with, everybody, was actually a joint venture. And I'm not opposed or afraid to share with you that the power of joint venture wholesaling, when done correctly, is almost greater than anything else I could think of in real estate investing, besides owning property for a really long time, because that is a very low risk, high return over time. But the thing is, very low risk, almost no risk, and high return right now equals virtual joint venture wholesale. And if you want, there's a video that we have that we're happy to share with you. Drop a comment below, just put the word virtual. If you want to do virtual wholesaling, put the word virtual below in a comment, and we'll send you, my staff or myself will send you a link to a video about how we recently closed a deal without ever going into the property, without ever seeing the investor that bought the deal, by literally connecting with one person that had this opportunity, entering into a contract with that individual based upon an assumption that we proceeded to see through, that we could buy the property for a certain price and ultimately flip that deal to somebody else and make about $10,000 a week or two later. And that happened not too long ago. We do that pretty consistently over at JDL. We actually just had one up in New Jersey. We had one down here in Florida. We're getting to the point where we have multiple deals happening again consistently every single month. So again, if you want to learn how to do virtual wholesaling, just do me a favor and drop the comment virtual, and I'll shoot you a DM, or someone from my office will, with a link to that masterclass. It's about 15 minutes long. It's very powerful information. I don't have time to go into it today, but you can get that link and we'll check it out later. And same thing for Growth Club. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, make sure you let us know. Virtual wholesaling is a great model if you have potential deal flow and if you could identify where there is capital flow. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But deal flow must exist for any of this stuff to work. Somebody has to have a deal. Like, it's inevitable. If there's no deal, there is no money to be made. Really, there's nothing left. The deal flow is the source. So if you have deal flow, let us know. Hashtag deal flow. If you want to learn how to virtually do deals and utilize deal flow providers and capital flow buyers and be in the middle of that equation, gave you kind of a hint there, right? That's what the video talks about. So let us know at virtual. We'll get that over to you. Okay, let's talk about capital flow. Capital flow, all right? If you're listening to me and you're taking that inventory I talked about and you say, well, I have a lot of capital or I have capital available to me, or I have a decent credit score, usually above 600, 620 is considered good enough, right? Respectfully, I say that for a lender to say, I'm willing to give this person who's a borrower a commercial loan to go buy this real estate deal that's going to be an investment property. If you're above 620, our fund, KPRE Capital, can help provide the majority of the capital to you, right? If you want to learn more about that, as far as how that process works, check out realdirectlending.com. Realdirectlending.com is our educational information platform about lending in the commercial real estate space. So you understand how lenders in our marketplace operate. You're going to find a lot of information on there for free. We're going to add more content in the coming weeks about how that all works and how you can access capital flow that you may not know it even exists. You may not know that OPM, other people's money, is literally sitting there waiting to be deployed into deals. Again, I go back to deal flow, right? If deal flow exists, if you have access to deal flow, then if you figure out how to access the capital flow, you have most of it figured out already. There's parts of the capital flow that you need to sort out because the lenders that are doing commercial lending are not usually going to provide 100% of everything. Now, if you see somebody, quick PSA, if you see somebody market in 100% purchase and 100% renovation for like 50 years at like 3%, I promise you, I'm gonna look right in the camera. I promise you that's not real. And if you want to test it, ask the person to go on a Zoom or go on a video or go on Skype or go on WhatsApp on a video. And I guarantee you they'll never get on a phone call on a video format and talk to you about it. Or if you better yet, ask them this question: what's the maximum LT of ARV? Like I just told my clients before, if they don't know how to answer what's the maximum LT of ARV, then they are not a lender in my book. And that's all, with all due respect to my lender friends. If you don't know how to answer that question and you actually are lending, I'm sorry, but you probably should figure that out. With all due respect, I can help you if you need. Just hit me up. I'll talk in private. It's no big deal. But if you're not lending and you're telling people you're going to offer them 100%, so they send you an application, you take their information and you try to take their identity or you try to take their money for an application, please just stop doing that. And someone's going to end up reporting that person for doing that, and you're going to have a big issue. Even if you're offshore, you're going to be, it's going to be a problem. So just stop doing that. Stop telling people that you can provide 100% capital. If you're in my group listening to me right now and doing that, you will be quickly removed from my group, as in my large Facebook group. And that's for everybody's protection, because I'm sick of seeing those posts and people actually going for it. It's kind of sad. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not right. So with that being said, back to capital flow. Enough of my PSA today. I'm trying to help you guys though. Hopefully you guys hear that. Yes, hear me help, and I hope you hear that. There was a question, I think, actually. Someone said the website, we got that taken care of. Good. Excellent. So it's, realdirectlending.com. Listen, capital flow, 80 to 85% of the money that you need is already available. I'm gonna say that again. 80 to 85% of the money you need to do a fix and flip or buy or rent the property as a commercial deal, as in an investment deal, is readily available to you. Learn more by going to realdirectlending.com and getting some information, talking to someone in our office, and then kind of figuring that part out. We've talked about it actually a couple weeks ago. I had folks on the lending side, Rich, and also Jay and Larry from KPRE, kind of help and explain some of that stuff. So in this actual group, if you missed that presentation, check out that presentation. Okay. But other than that, capital flow, let's talk about capital flow, because we're setting the precedence here where we're going to have a joint venture between some type of deal flow with some type of capital flow. Like, that is the goal here. How can we joint venture on either, right, deal flow and or capital flow? So on capital flow, right, you have the loan. Okay, I just told you 80 to 85% can be borrowed as a private money, hard money loan, right? Now, hard money, I had a whole conversation about this a couple weeks back. Hard money exists, but I like to call it, like one of the guys up in New Jersey used to call it, soft money. Why? Because you usually have to sign your personal guarantee to sign that you're willing to commit your name and your credit to take this loan. It's a commercial loan, but it's still being signed by you. Now, why is that important? Is because the lender wants you to have commitment to the deal, to know that if the deal doesn't go as well as it should, you still have the right and responsibility to pay back the loan. Okay. That's what a personal guarantee. And it's saying that you have the responsibility personally, as well as company wise, to do that. Okay. You could take a loan from a fund, from a lender. You could also just have capital. Like you just have literally your own capital, or you have a close family friend or somebody in your network that wants to take capital and put it into real estate. Well, you got to have the conversation. Hey, listen, Mary. Hey, Bob, I have some great opportunities that are being presented to me. Cap or deal flow is coming my way. I'm sitting in the middle of that deal flow, deal flow, deal flow. Over here, friends and family, close people in my network, myself, we all have capital flow. Hey, would you ever like to possibly work together on a project with me where we can make money together and I could do all the work? And all I need you to do is bring some capital to me and my project, and I'm going to buy from this deal flow that I'm getting consistently. Okay. Would you want to collaborate? Or would you know someone who's interested in possibly collaborating? Yes or no? Like it's pretty much, you're going to get to that. You're not going to ask them that way, but you're going to find out, is it yes or is it maybe, is it no? You focus on the yeses, you go through the maybes, and you kind of say no's, like not right now. You kind of stay in touch and you figure out, well, where can I match up my capital flow friends and myself, my own personal interest, capital flow, to the deal flow that's being presented to me. So not every single deal is going to match to a capital flow thing. Like it's not going to all just be a one-to-one every time. But the fact is, if you have inventory of what you look at in your deal flow, if I literally look at my inbox on any given day, I get between 15 to 20 emails a day. No joke. Across probably like 5 or 6 different states. New Jersey, Florida, Pennsylvania, some stuff in Texas, some stuff in Ohio, because we're doing some stuff in Ohio at one point, and other places just sent to me consistently. Deal flow, right? There's constant deal flow. And we have a team that literally goes through and analyzes those deals and figures out which of those 15, 20 a day work out to be like the 1 to 3 a day that we'll even look at. And of those, how many of those we want to move forward on by actually figuring out if they make sense for us to buy or for us to bring to who? Our capital flow partners. What does that look like? Well, in a wholesale business, your capital flow partners are the investors that you've connected with that you know would want to buy the contract. They want to buy that contract. They want to buy the property contract that you put in place to buy this property from either the seller, an agent, a wholesaler. They want to buy it from you, and they're willing to pay you and me a fee to buy the contract. They're not buying the real estate. You're in the middle. You're stuck in the middle, which is a good place to be stuck because now you have the control. I go over here. Here's my deal flow. I sit in the middle. I control that deal flow, figure out what's looking good. I catch a few things. I got a piece of paper here. Hey, you like this one? Okay, great. You take that one. Here's 5 grand, 10 grand. We'll see you at closing. Okay, I got this other one coming up over here. Oh, that one's good too. Like that. Okay, great. Here's another one. It's 10K. Okay, 15, 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K, right? I can tell you guys the biggest deal that I can think of right now that we've had in our career, quote unquote, as a wholesale company was $140,000 wholesale flip. And I was one of the people involved, but I was a joint venture on the wholesale side. So our company got a piece of that. But usually you're looking at between 5 to 15K, maybe 20K. And if you want a percentage amount, even though it's not percentage driven, because we're not talking about commissions, right? This is not commissions. This is not agency. There's no fiduciary. You're going into contract. You're taking a principal responsibility to buy the property, which is risky, but that's what you trade, risk for reward, right? If you're willing to enter into contract of some kind, and there's ways to protect yourself that we can talk about in private. If you're interested in that, put the word wholesale if you want to get more info on wholesale, period. Like if you don't know how that all works and you want to learn how to do wholesale and you want us to coach you on that, put the word wholesale in a comment or shoot me a DM, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. Wholesale. If that's something you want to get into, we can talk about it. Basically, your capital flow partner is going to take over the contract that you decided to go into and then close on the property. At the closing, the wholesaler gets paid a fee for putting everything together on the front end, for analyzing that deal, for finding the opportunity, for putting the whole thing together. Even sometimes what we do is we'll help get the deal pre-qualified for funding because I happen to own a fund and I can bring the capital, and I also understand the business because I've had experience. So you could leverage experience and access to capital to make it even easier for your capital flow investor, in this case, to buy the deal. That's one example, right? That's one example where you could just wholesale flip it. Now, what if you don't want to flip the deal? You're like, well, Doug, there's like 100 grand or 50 grand or whatever amount you want to make in the deal to fix and flip. How could I right? How could you, listening to me, joint venture on a deal with using none of your own money and none of your own deal acquisition process besides getting deal flow? How could you take opportunities presented to you from other people who did all the work to find those deals, all right? To find and sort through all that stuff. How can you take all that deal flow, pick one or two that you like to buy, and then go turn over to capital flow and say, listen, I am ready to buy this deal because I have my lender over there, which, by the way, real direct lending, like I told you before, tells you how to do that 80 to 85%. I already have my lender lined up. Hey, I already got the time to do this project because of XYZ. I'm ready to commit my time to this, or I find someone to do it for me, even better yet, to run the project, right? I find a project manager or a general contractor. And hey, check it out, Mr. Mrs. Capital Flow Partner person. I also happen to have the real estate agent to help me sell the property because you already did the research of who's going to sell the property when it's done. What else do you need? Well, I need a contractor, right? So I need someone to actually do the work. Like I said, GC before could run it, but you have someone to actually do the work. You figure deal, contractor, agent to sell, lender to provide a majority of the capital. What's left? The money down, the carry costs, right? The soft costs, the things that cost money, like the financing costs. How do we handle that? Well, hey, capital flow partner, potential joint venture partner. I have everything except for this one piece, which is called the gap funds. And you're my friend, FIM member, someone I already know. I'm starting with my warm, close connections for a lot of reasons, which we could talk about, right? There's laws around solicitation for funds. You have to be careful of having a relationship. You need to know who the person is. They need to know who you are. You have to have an existing relationship, and you want to look at one deal at a time. We're not raising money in a fund to do this. Unless you want to, it's a whole different animal. We're talking about one-to-one, belly to belly, eye to eye, talking on the phone, speaking on a Zoom. Hey, we have a specific deal we're looking at that I'd like to see if you want to work together on a joint venture with me. Would you at all be interested in this? Here's where it looks like it makes sense for me. And I'm going to buy this. I'm giving you, capital flow friend of mine, joint venture partner potential. I'm giving you, listening, the opportunity to step into this deal with me. It's not, hey, I got this great opportunity that I can't do without you. So please, could you pretty please come in the deal and give me some capital? That is not the posture or positioning, as David talked about positioning the other day. You don't want to have the position like you are desperate. Even if you feel like you might be, that's a mental game. You got to get your mental part sorted out, and we can work on that too. So if you need help there, send me a DM. If you need to get clarity and confidence, that's something I help a lot of my clients with as well, getting confidence and clarity. Okay. Joint venture. Okay. All right. Appreciate the comment from Jay Shaw. I don't know, you don't have a picture on your Facebook, so that concerns me. You're giving your phone number in a chat. So just mindful. I'm not going to say too much. Caution, right? Caution flag, no picture, a little bit cryptic. Just be careful. Anyone that comments, if one of my team members wants to check on that and maybe remove the comment and have them private. I don't really appreciate people soliciting for capital or anything like that directly like that on my message on you're not seeing it inside the Zoom, but if I look at my other screen, I see it on comments. That's not the right approach, right? We want to think about maybe having a conversation in private. Hey, I can help with the capital side. Hit me up with a DM, something like that. That's appropriate, and I'm cool with that. But the way you kind of put it directly, I'm not really a fan of that. So just warning, if you guys are on commenting, you could do comments and collaborate that way, but not as much direct. I don't really appreciate that. Okay. Respectfully, like I'm doing this not for me, but for the community of people that we have here. We're not looking to get anybody into a scenario that is going to hurt them. Okay. So you got to be mindful of that. All right. Back to the normally scheduled program. All right. So capital flow, joint venture. Listen, I'm looking for some capital. In my mind, I'm saying I'm looking for some capital. I need to find the gap. But when I think about positioning it, I'm giving somebody the opportunity to step into this deal with me. Different than I need the capital or else I can't close. That's not the position. Okay. What's the preface? What is the preface of me having to sort out finding capital? I must have what? I must have connections. I must make connections. So if you're writing down notes or thinking about this, write down the word connection. And be honest with yourself. How many connections do you have in your phone, on your social media, in your email, Rolodex contact list, how many people do you have that you could reach out to? And of the people you could reach out to, how many have you spoken with recently, as in the past couple weeks or less, about real estate? And I bet you there's a big difference. If you have 1,000 people, you might have talked to 5 people, 10 people, maybe 30 or 50 or 100. If you're actively in the business, probably a lot of them more than that. But if you're just getting started, there's usually a clear distinction between how many people I know that know me versus how many people I know that know me that don't even know what I'm doing yet. So maybe consider just letting people know, like going on Facebook. Hey, listen, I'm really excited. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I want to let everybody know I'm actually actively building a real estate investment business or portfolio of rental property, or buying my next fix and flip property, or creating an income with real estate. And I'd love to connect with anyone who's interested in learning how it all works. See, I'm not asking them for money. I'm not putting out a post saying, please give me money so I can go do deals. I'm saying, I might not even need that money anyways. I just need to know, are you interested in learning what I'm doing so we can find a way to collaborate? Maybe. Is there an opportunity? So I'm saying, are you interested in learning about what I'm doing so you can get some benefit somehow? And give them something to do. Send me a message, comment below, just like the things I do when I'm on these meetings. Say, hey, DM me, hit me up with a comment. So I know you guys are interested. You're raising your hand. Hey, let's have a conversation. Emulate the same thing. Get your network to reach out to you. You're pulling people towards you versus pushing. Push out value, pull in people that want to help you, but you want to help them. Like, you push out the value to them, they're naturally going to want to come and talk to you about things that you know about. And I'll tell you this much, even if you're brand new, like literally just today was the first day you decided to join this live. You're like, who is this guy, Douglas J. Beck? And what's this thing about joint ventures? I don't know, but I'm just going to join anyways. You might even know more than the majority of your network knows about real estate or real estate investing. You'd be surprised, right? Like, you don't know how much you know, even if you haven't done a deal yet. Even just the ambition that you have right now, listening to me, is greater than the majority of people that are in your network, whether you know it or not. And I'm telling you that because it's not just like a theory. It's like, statistically, most people do not invest in real estate. Like, it's less than 2% of the whole US population, I think, has something to do with investing in real estate. All right. So that's like statistically. I'm not talking about real estate agents. I'm talking about investors. Okay. So 98% plus of people across all people in the US don't even invest at all. And here you are listening, say, I don't really know that much. How could I possibly? Well, they might not know a lot either, but check it out. If you get them excited, which if you have a deal flow, and you have in the middle analysis mode, and you know how to process that information, you say, hey, people on my contact list who might participate somehow, probably from a capital perspective, because what most people find a way, hey, I have money on the side saved up, I have retirement money, I have a HELOC, I have some other type of thing going on financially, I can take that. And I always wanted to, I'm looking at Ginger, I'm looking at Sherry, I'm looking at Candace. I always wanted to, a friend of yours, get into real estate, but I never had the time. I never knew how. But you know what? I can't believe you're telling me this right now. I'm happy to hear you guys, Candace, Ginger, Sherry, Joe, Jasmine, everybody on Facebook. I'm happy to hear you as my friend, right? Person you're talking to, that you're committed to it, because I just wanted to find somebody I trust that can actually do the heavy lifting, is what they're saying in their head, and actually I could work with. So you're actually helping, you're blessing that person by bringing them into your business to help you do what you're already going to do anyways. For whatever reason, our brains are programmed to think, I'm not helping them, it's just like a thing I need. And that's a scarcity mindset kind of thing. We got to think of like the abundance, like there's enough to go around. Our friends need our help. The people that don't have the commitment that you have need you, want you, desire you to reach out to them and tell them about what you're doing so that they can participate and benefit. That's the end of the story there. But joint venture, again, you're focusing on, in this case, if we have everything else sorted out, we got to get the gap funds. I did a whole presentation about that some time ago. If you guys want to copy that, just hit me up with a message or with a comment about gap. Right, just put the word gap if you want to learn about gap funding. And this is from the perspective of raising private money from a gap perspective, like finding people that want to jump into deals. If that's something you're interested in, send me a message on Facebook, or if you're one of our clients, put it in a Slack. Hey, Doug, you said something about that. Tell me more about that. I'm pretty sure we have a training about that. I just got to find out where it's at and I'll get it to you guys. All right. So we talked about fix and flip. We talked about wholesale to a certain extent as far as joint ventures. what about scenarios that are like, some people want to buy and hold rental property, right? How could that work? So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples before we finish up today, just so you guys know. But rental property investing. Okay. I'll give you an example as I'm explaining how to do it. So I was sitting in my own home the other day with a friend of mine. And his son and my son are friends, and I'm not going to share who it is because he may actually be in this group. I'm not sure. But he shared some information about the fact that he was looking to do some stuff in real estate and he wasn't really sure what to do. He hadn't done much with it, but he had the interest and he wants to buy some rental property. So I happen to know that I get access to a lot of rental property in Florida, a lot of properties in general, and I have a business around real estate acquisitions. Like that's just our business. And I also happen to have capital from the fund, and I also have my coaching, what I do with my clients. So I have a lot of things happening, but this particular person is not in the real estate business, but they want to be in the business of investing and owning rental property. So what potentially could happen is this particular individual would be a capital partner, right? But this person says, hey, Doug, tell me more about it. I'm happy to hear about what you do, this and that. Is there a way that I could buy some rental real estate on the side, one or two properties that generate this much money per month extra using funds that I have available? And he doesn't really even know necessarily, I don't think he does, at least, of the leverage potential of taking whatever capital base he has, multiplying that through leverage, as in borrowing capital. That's going to bring even more possibility, but just using the capital he has. See, I could bring the deal through my deal flow. I could bring the deal. I could bring the management of any sort of construction. I have the resources to find a contractor, hire the contractor, coordinate construction, get the property in highest best use. I can coordinate the management or the hiring of the property manager. I can get the tenant placed. I could take the loan even and the capital that's needed to buy the property, renovate the property. I can get the majority of that. And I can even help facilitate. And I say not to say it's just me, you guys can, through our group, our companies and your own efforts, right? We can collaborate as Douglas J. Beck and all the companies I have to help you guys in the same capacity. You have access to me. You have access to all these things I'm telling you because it's through me. It's just simple as that. Like it's through the fact that we have JDL wholesale. We have, KPRE capital for funding. We have construction that we've done on Douglas J development and experience in the coaching group and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things you already have right in front of you sitting here that you could harvest or benefit from. And you have this person, like in this case, a friend of mine that wants to get into rental property investing, but he doesn't have those other things. So I say, well, hey, you know what? Would you be open to collaborating on a deal where I did all the work? I found the property. I sorted through the renovation. I got the property stabilized. I handle construction. I'll coach you through it. You can walk the property, all that stuff. I'll place a tenant. We'll manage the property together, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to take on the responsibility for all the time because you already work full time doing something else. Yeah, I'm interested. Okay. Everything else is just details. Okay. They matter, but they're details. What are the details? The details are how much capital is needed for that particular property. Well, what property are we going to buy? We don't know yet. We're going to find a property. We're going to maybe buy a 2-family, a 10-family. I don't know. We're going to buy something that meets the criteria of what that particular person wants to do, what I want to do, and what he wants to do together. We have to have alignment. So how does that happen? Well, that happens through conversation. Hey, it's not his name. Hey, Bob. It's not Bob. It's another person. But hey, what would you like to do? Well, I really want to have some multifamily, multiple doors, this area, Florida, and, and can cash flow at least this much. Okay, great. I know that. Now I go through all my deal flow providers that I've taken the time to connect to and find and sort through. Hey, do we have anybody over here? Hey guys, I need this. I'm looking to buy this. I am with my team, my partner, looking to buy this kind of deal. Does anybody have anything for me? Where do you think I might post that post? Maybe a group like this, right? But a group that focuses on geographically whatever area. So somebody was in Oklahoma City. So go to Oklahoma City real estate investors or Oklahoma City RIA, if there is one. Hey, I'm in Oklahoma City and I'm looking to buy a multifamily producing a minimum of $300 a door cash flow per month. I'm ready to close within 30 days. Who's got a deal for me? And all of a sudden, all these people come out of the woodwork, wholesalers, real estate agents, other investors. Hey, would you consider this? Would you consider that? And then you know what? Hey, add me to your list. Let me get on your list of all the emails that you send out about all your deals. Can I get on your list? Yeah, of course. Doesn't cost anything. Great. Okay. Deal flow. Okay. Hey, check it out. Bob, you know that I was telling you about that 2-family, that's whatever we're looking at buying. I got a few things to look at. What do you think about this one? Now I take the analysis process, which by the way, I already coach my clients on this, but run your numbers, runyournumbers.com. I use that tool plus my knowledge that I get from maybe a coaching program like the Growth Collective or something else that you do. But the Growth Collective, join the growthcollective.com. You want to learn this stuff to become aware and actually understand it. We just had a conversation earlier about, a hot seat, multiple hot seats, actually, reviews of deals. We did one yesterday. We do one almost every day. That's detailed. That's not just high level, like fluffy stuff. Like it's in the weeds. It's in the stuff that matters. It's getting the answers to questions. You have to know to take action. Like we have people making deals happen. Yesterday, out of like 8 or 9 people that joined the live meeting just yesterday, we have like 30 some, 40 some clients right now, I think, actively in the program. But out of like 8 or 9 that joined yesterday's conversation, every single person, I'm so proud to say this, I'm telling everybody, had either a deal that they had closed or that they were about to buy in the next couple of weeks. Every single person. Because we focus on implementation and not just education. Getting results. How can I possibly claim a 90-day do a deal guarantee if I don't actually get people results? Right? If you go to jointhegrowthcollective.com and you look at what's on the site and you look at the little video of me talking and you see the testimonials, which are not even half of what's actually happening. My screen just froze. Might be getting excited, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the service is dropping or something, but you look at that and you see the testimonials. All right. I don't know what's going on with the service. I'm freezing up here. I'm trying to see if Facebook is still moving. It's getting funky. I'm sorry, guys. You look at the testimonials, you see like just a glimpse of the kind of success stories that we're having for people. You guys still hearing me? Is everybody still there?
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. All right. It's really weird on my side. It's getting frozen.
It's kind of slow motion, but we can hear you crystal clear.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the video here. I'm going to turn off the video for a second. I'm back, see what it does. There we go. I don't know. It's having glitch for some reason. Glitchy. All right, we're back. So thank you, Joe. You go look at it doesn't cost anything to go look at the site. Like, please, there's nothing to like push and promote besides you taking a look at it. Like it takes 5 minutes to read and watch the video and listen and watch and read the stuff below it. You'll hear examples of a couple months ago where clients are closing deals collaboratively. So now let me bridge to that for a second, because this kind of ties into example that I was explaining about the buy and hold, but also example in the Growth Collective, where folks are finding their capital partners, they're finding their deal flow partners, they're finding their loan taking people that have better credit, that can take a loan that someone else that doesn't have good credit, but they have experience, or they have capital, or they have deal flow, or maybe they're a wholesaler, but they want to get into fixing and flipping, and they found somebody else in the group that does fix and flip already. And they realize that person, there was a jive, there was a connection. How does that happen? Conversations. Connect, cultivate, collaborate, and have conversations. Simply as that. So anyway, this gentleman, right, back to my story, this guy says, okay, we'll take a look at these videos. I'm like, here, pick a card, any card kind of thing. It's like, not like that, but it's kind of like, hey, which one do you like the best? And he says, I like this one. Okay, let me go get more information. Let me clarify this. Let me do some due diligence. I use my analysis on Run Your Numbers, right? Runyournumbers.com. I go and I figure out, does this deal actually really make sense? Let me trust, but verify. How do I verify? Well, I verify by probably making an offer, which is a little bit unconventional, but it's something that helps me and my clients get deals faster than most other people get deals. I make offers over the phone. I'm not afraid to make an offer. Send me a contract. I'll sign a contract too. I'll sign a contract if I have enough data and enough mitigation of risk to know that it's unlikely that I would say no to this deal. Like if I know with a shadow of a doubt, like 95% sure that this is a good deal, if I have enough data, which is sometimes hard to do, but if I have enough conversations, I ask the right questions, which again, I coach on this, I can make a deal over the phone and I could verify it in person if I need to. Or better yet, what if I have other people who are qualified, like contractors and real estate agents, do the due diligence with me or for me so that I can be confident making the offer? How about that idea? That's pretty simple, but it's pretty powerful. That's exactly what I did. I'm sitting up in New Jersey back in 2019, bought our first 3 properties in Florida from New Jersey, over 1,000 miles away, because my buddy Mike, who was actively in the market in Tampa, found 3 specific opportunities that made sense. He found the deal. He was my joint venture partner. He was a real estate agent. He found the deal, 3 deals. He found the contractor, the one guy that did all three of them. Actually, it was a couple of guys that did the other one, but it was basically one main guy and a couple other subcontractors. And then guess what? He listed the property for me. And I already had the lender because I made the effort to have a phone call and give them my credit score, tell them about my background, my experience, and then have them run some information about my company. And within like basically half an hour or less, you can get pre-qualified. Same thing with us. As far as capital on the funding side, it's really simple to get qualified. It's not like a bank, right? So I had all that done and I say, hey, Mike, you got some deals? He's like, yeah, here's three over a period of time, short period of time. What do? I go to a closing in New Jersey with a remote notary. I sign some loan documents. I call a couple of friends that want a joint venture on deals in Florida, secure the capital to come into those deals, show them the profitability, obviously, how we're going to run the project, explain Mike's experience working with a large fund that bought and sold a bunch of property that I got connected to because I made a phone call to him. Because I had the time to call the guy and have a conversation about doing business together. I was able to sign some documents, and then fast forward 6 to 8 months later on the three projects, two of them which we actually fixed and flipped, one that we actually kind of held on to and sold, still for a profit, all from 1,000+ miles away. It's not impossible, everybody. I'm telling you, you could buy property anywhere from anywhere if you intend to do so, if you're intentional and you focus on it and you have the right resources. And it's all about people. Yes. And it's also about process. And I coach on both of those things extensively. And my staff of coaches with me does the same thing. So again, join the growthcollective.com to get a glimpse of that. And now I have clients. I got to shout out my friend Jasmine. I got to call her out because I'm not going to say the specific details, but she's up in New York. She's bought 2 deals already and she's 1,000+ miles away. But one of the deals she's working on is a multiple 6-figure deal, right? For her. Like, it's intense. It's exciting. And I'm excited for her. The other one's another nice little project. But the fact is, because she got her mind to realize that she doesn't have to be right there. And she has the resources because we helped bring a contractor that's qualified to do the work, because we brought most of the capital. And in actually both of those cases, we brought the deal. She's been able to buy 2 properties without having to worry about all the details, but just knowing that they're good deals with verified appraisals. So you want to say, well, of course she's your client. She's going to buy it from you. Isn't she going to be like biased because aren't you going to try to push the deal under her because she's your client? No, she has the right to say no or yes. I don't force her to buy anything. She's got the appraisal from the lender. It's a third-party verified appraisal. She's got a construction budget from a real contractor. That's a real certified licensed and insured contractor. These are real deals. These are not hypothetical pie in the sky, fluffy stuff that being sold to just try to get you to buy something. Okay. And I could give you 10 more stories of people like that, but I want to call her. I see her name on the screen. I'm thinking about just what happened last week, right before 4th of July. So, guys and gals, again, I can't emphasize enough. You got to connect with people, have conversations, and just check out the information. Join the growthwith.com. There's so much possibility. Our clients are collaborating, and then, again, I'm going to call out a couple other friends of mine. They're not in the room right now, but Rich and Felipe, they don't have the last name here. So Rich and Felipe, both in New Jersey, bought a property together in Florida. They both got connected from the Growth Collective. They bought a deal again through JDL, utilized capital through our fund, and found the capital through the other means on their own network for what they needed. And they have a contractor referral again, right? So these are examples of people actively doing it now that are people just like you listening to me. The only difference is that they decided to take ownership and step into something that was more than coaching. See, that's why I tell people it's private coaching and mastermind. What is a mastermind? I think of a mastermind as a group of people that are all in it for the greater good of each other. They're not there to take. They're there to give, right? So a mastermind is like, hey, I'm the coach, I'm hosting, but if you have something of value to bring to the group, please raise your hand. Hey, how about this idea? How about Ryan and Holly bringing the NAR report? Got to give them a shout out too. I'm not sure if they're in the Zoom room, but the NAR, National Association of Realtors, has a report that these guys found, which is awesome because it actually publishes the capitalization rate of properties across the country in multiple metro markets all across the country. If you want to know what properties are trading for on commercial real estate, because Ryan and Holly, who are clients and members of the Growth Collective, said, hey, I heard about this thing someone else told me about. I brought it to the group. They brought it to the group. Now it's something we talk about all the time. So it's for the greater good. Or how about Jenny and Glenn just bought another deal, right? Jenny and Glenn down here in Florida bought a deal from a relationship locally that I helped connect, and we've helped fund the deal. And it's just all, I could go on and on. But the fact is, like, they also are using a thing called pad split. I'm giving you guys like the tip of the iceberg. Pad split, right? That was brought to the group also. Massive value, like learning how you could take a house and split it into rooms, not like an Airbnb, but actually have it in a way where you optimize the space. And this company fully manages everything to do with it. Like, these are the conversations we have every single week. And it just gets better and better and better. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is, if you're serious about your real estate investment business and you want to do joint venturing, if that's all you wanted to do, if literally all you said was, I need to do more deals with other people that have what I need, that's a reason to check out jointhegrowthclub.com. If you need education and support and mentorship and coaching, that's another great reason to check out the website. But you could just keep coming here, right? And I'm talking to my friends on Facebook, by the way, because my clients are also in the Zoom rooms that are like, well, I'm already here, Doug. Of course, duh. People on Facebook can keep coming once a week and kind of getting the information. That's all good. But I'm telling you, it's going to amplify when you step into a scenario where you're actually participating live in a Zoom and you're doing it consistently multiple times a week. All right. So I'm here for any questions from the clients. If you guys have a specific joint venture question, or if you have a scenario or a topic that you want to bring up quickly with the last few minutes we have, I don't always do that, but I have some time. If you guys want to ask a question on Facebook about joint venturing, if you're not clear on something, I'll look at Facebook as well. LaJoy says, I need to join because I can't seem to land a deal yet. Absolutely. We'd love to talk to you, LaJoy. Janet just joined us at the TGC community. Hopefully I'll see Janet in one of the meetings pretty soon. We just had an offer that we made over 4th of July, which is unfortunately no longer available, but something very close to it would be available to you if you guys want to step into something close to the all-inclusive, if you would, Growth Collective experience. There's the TGC community, which gives you another 1 to 2 hours a week together and access to our private coaching group through the connections inside of a Facebook group. That's a much smaller group than these, thousands of people in this room here. So if you have a deal, or if you're looking for a specific thing, you could join the TGC community and post it in the group. And now you have a place to connect with people, a platform of sorts to get what you need that way. So that's another idea for you. If you're not sure what that is, again, join thegrowthclub.com, check out the video, set up an appointment with my staff, or DM me even if you want to get on it right away. And we'll have a conversation, today, tomorrow, or early next week. Any questions from folks in the room, on Zoom, or anyone on Facebook? My goal today was to give you real life examples. I hope I accomplished that. My goal was to give you scenarios of how you can simplify and streamline what you need. As you're thinking about any questions, write down, again, inventory. What do you have? Take inventory of what you have. Make sure you have clarity. I have time. I have capital. I have desire. I have ambition. I have deal flow. I have capital flow. I have this. I have that. But I need, that's the other column. I need, right? I need, and fill in the blank. I need more capital. I need deal flow. I need experience. I need coaching. I need education. Do me a favor when you're listening to this, if it's live or on replay, if you want to make this even more exciting and see how connections can happen, even from the comments. And I'll tell the Growth Collective clients, feel free to go back into the Facebook group. This is the Real Estate Investing Mastermind. If you're not sure where that is, the Real Estate Investing Mastermind, comment with your name on it, right? Which has a social media profile. I have, and then put in colon, I have, boom, 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 whatever those things are. I need XYZ ABC. DM me if you want to collaborate. It's really that simple. I know it sounds overly simple, but it's really like, I have this, I need this. I have to say, I have to give credit to a particular group that I go and attend to every Friday. And there's a guy named Tim that runs that group. So thank you, Tim. If you hear this, I really appreciate you, man. You've opened up my mind a lot of ways, and the people in that group have been awesome to be around. I'm still going to continue to come to that group every Friday morning locally. There's a 1031 exchange group that literally, it's what they do. They sit there, and it's guys and gals have been investing, in some cases for decades, which are like just amazing people. Like, on top of the fact that they've been investing for that long, they're all about creative ideas and creative financing and creative structures, but also they talk about simply, what do you have and what do you need? It's like matchmaking. A 1031 exchange, if you don't know, is literally that. Like, I have this property that I'm looking to trade to go get this. I need this kind of property. Like, it's literally that simple. I have this 2-family home, a single family, this building. I need to trade up to go to this thing. So like the meeting is like pitch the deal. Like here it is. Okay, who in the room wants to buy this or trade this for something else? And then people go around, ask questions, and it's literally inspired my thinking to be different. It's not so much about finding the one thing that everyone's chasing after. It's saying, what do I already have and what do I need? And it's not about what I need, it's who has what I need. It's literally the connections that change everything, right? I knew this, but I know it more now from living through it and seeing my clients win from it as well, which is just a beautiful thing. So on that note, again, Joe put it there for you guys and gals. What do you have and what do you need? I want to see some joint venturing happen in the group, right? Why not happen in the larger group? Let's push the limit a little bit here. Let's have some of our TGC clients go into the bigger real estate investing mastermind group, accessing thousands of people, and tell us what you have and what you need, or even just what you need. Be vulnerable. I told you before, be a little bit more vulnerable. Vulnerability is where growth occurs. See, like if you're all going to sit there and be comfortable and, well, I know I need to do this, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it. We got to break free from that mindset. Step up. You could do this. It's not hard. You just got to be a little bit vulnerable. You know it's right there. It's at the tip of your tongue to say it or do it. Just do it. No one's going to laugh at you. Like we're all here for the same reason. We're all here to grow. You know, right now, for example, we have like 6 deals that I need investors to buy or that I need someone to capital and partner with. Okay. So they're in Florida. One's in California, which is a random story, but it's because of my partner, Phil, and some other people out there. And there's something I think brewing in New Jersey as well. But I need people that want to collaborate. So if you want to collaborate on deals, you know, hit me up. Like I'm not afraid to tell you that I have deal flow and I'm looking for capital flow. I have most of the capital, but I don't have all of it. So if you want to buy the deal, take it over by all means. But if not, we'll close on them and we'll run the project. It's just really that simple. But the way to communicate with me is send me a message. You're hearing this on Facebook, most likely, maybe on YouTube. If it goes on YouTube, send me a message on Facebook. Here's another tip for you guys and gals. If you don't know this is pretty cool. Someone showed this to me. If you don't know, you'll now know. If you go to the link, which is literally, it sounds kind of weird, but it's the letter M dot me, like m.me, and then you put a slash. So m.me / Douglas J. Beck, for example, or whatever your name is, if it's on Facebook, wherever your name on Facebook, the link is. So it's m.me / Douglas J. Beck. That will DM me. Even if we're not friends, it will send me a DM. So you guys try, you put in m.me / Douglas J. Beck, wherever you're listening to, that will send me a DM. You could do it for yourself and tell other people, hey, DM me on Facebook. That will get you connected in Messenger and that will get you to see them on social. So you can add them as a friend, connect about different things, share stories, whatever. But again, m.me / Douglas J. Beck, for example, is how you could DM me if you're hearing this somewhere else, if you're not my friend on Facebook, whatever it is. You can just hit me up on Facebook. Like I said, Joe just put it there. You guys can do the same thing. I encourage everybody who's in the TGC community to utilize that little feature because you could tell people on email, you're like, well, why Facebook? Here's my final thought and I got to roll. Facebook is dynamic. Facebook is not flat and weird and basic. Like it's just like a name, phone number, email is like the 1980s and 90s. Okay. I know it sounds funny, but like Facebook is like the new age, right? So Facebook has people's pictures, people's videos, people's life stories, information about them. That's why people pay a lot of money to advertise on Facebook because they get to access that information. It's not a secret, right? But the way to use it to your benefit is to find people using Facebook's platform that have what you want or need and connect with them on social media versus just on email because email is becoming so noisy. It's like, just like getting stuff in the mail that you throw out in the garbage, like the postcards and stuff like that. It just wastes the time. Versus Facebook, it's like you see someone's picture pop up and it's a message you haven't seen. Usually you'll look at it for a second. Even if you just kind of push it to the side, you'll see it pop up. You click on the person's profile. What's this person about? And then you could think about optimizing your profile. So we might even talk about that in the coming weeks here, how to use your social media to connect more intently or intentionally to make more deals happen. How about that, Todd? That sounds like a good topic maybe for next week or the week after. All right, guys, I'll talk to you real soon. God bless. All right. See you all.